Hello and good evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Hafiz Marzukhi. MOA MP Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman arrived at the Court of Appeal today for his criminal breach of trust case. However, proceedings were adjourned in the afternoon and will resume tomorrow, with a decision to be made then.
In November 2023, the former Youth and Sports Minister was sentenced by the High Court to 7 years in prison, 2 strokes of the cane and a fine of 10 million ringgit for 4 offences related to Armada funds. He was found guilty of criminal breach of trust, misappropriation of funds and money laundering. In his appeal, Syed Saddiq argued that Kuala Lumpur High Court Judge Dato' Azhar Abdul Hamid had erred in law and fact when convicting him. Syed Saddiq will be acquitted if the appeal succeeds, though the prosecution can still challenge the ruling at the federal court. If dismissed, he will have one final chance to appeal at the federal court.
A continuous rain alert has been issued for 4 states until March 21st. In a statement by the Malaysian Meteorological Department, the affected states are Pahang, Johor, Sabah and Sarawak.
For Pahang, continuous rain is expected specifically in Kuantan, Pekan and Rompin. Similar weather conditions are also forecasted in Johor, covering Kluang, Mersing, Pontian, Kulai, Kota Tinggi and Johor Bahru, as well as in Sabah, affecting the west coast, Sandakan and Kudat. In Sarawak, the affected areas include Kuching, Serian, Samarahan, Sri Aman, Betong, Sarike, Sibu, Muka, Kapit and Bintulu, with a warning in place until Thursday.
The Cabinet has agreed in principle to amend the Finance Act 1981. Communications Minister Dato' Fahmi Fazil says the bill will be tabled in Parliament by the end of the year.
He said the National Film Development Corporation Malaysia, FINAS, will continue engagement sessions with stakeholders while working on the draft of the bill. Fahmi said he hoped the amendments would update the Act to better reflect modern times, where audiences not only visit cinemas but also watch films on their personal devices. The minister added that he would meet with veteran artist groups to better understand their concerns. He previously said the amendment would address contract jobs for film industry workers to ensure their social security.
YTL AI Cloud, a subsidiary of YTL Power International, is among the first in Asia Pacific to deploy NVIDIA's latest Blackwell Ultra AI platform. The Blackwell Ultra platform, launched by NVIDIA, is designed to revolutionize AI computing, enhancing AI reasoning, automation, and real-world AI applications. YTL AI Cloud will deploy this cutting-edge platform at the YTL Green Data Center campus in Johor, a 500-megawatt solar-powered facility. This data center, currently under construction, is also home to Malaysia's first supercomputer featuring NVIDIA's GB200 Grace Blackwell superchip on DGX Cloud. Dato' Seri Yeo Sok Hong, Managing Director of YTL Power, said they are making the latest AI cloud computing available in Asia, ensuring the region remains at the forefront of global technological advancements. The first NVIDIA Blackwell clusters are expected to be operational by July 2025, making YTL AI Cloud one of the first cloud providers in the region to offer this powerful AI platform. We'll go for a short break. Stay with us.
Kerap menggaru kulit kepala disebabkan keluh mumur, masalahnya lebih mendalam. Gunalah Head and Shoulders menembusi 5 lapisan untuk membasmi keluh mumur dan kegatalan. Bebas keluh mumur sehingga 100%. Head and Shoulders diuji secara dermatologi.
75 tahun di haluan ini, melihat wajah-wajah muda menjadi legenda. Berjuang hingga bergemanya sorakan kemenangan.
Bola sepak mengajar saya untuk terus bangkit.
Setiap generasi melakar kisahnya yang tersendiri.
Semangat membara dari puncak ingin ke angkasa, berkalungkan diri.
Kini bakat-bakat muda meneruskan perjalanan. berbekalkan tekad kukuh dan semangat yang tak padam. Milo, dulu, kini, selamanya demi Malaysia.
At least 27 Palestinians were killed in overnight Israeli attacks on southern Gaza's Khan Yunis and Rafah. This follows airstrikes across the Gaza Strip early on Tuesday. They killed more than 400 people, mostly women and children. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the strikes after Hamas refused demands to free half of the remaining hostages as a precondition for extending the ceasefire. He claims the attack is only the beginning, adding that Israel will press ahead until it achieves its aims of destroying Hamas and freeing all hostages. In Washington, the White House's press secretary said the Trump administration had been consulted by Israel on the attacks. Meanwhile, the Israeli military has reportedly dropped leaflets in northern parts of the city, telling Palestinians to evacuate and indicating they could soon launch renewed ground operations. Thousands of Israelis gathered for an anti-government protest at Habima Square in Tel Aviv after the country decided to resume attacks on the Gaza Strip. The demonstration began with a rally, followed by a march towards Begin Gate near the Army and Defense Ministry headquarters.
And Netanyahu and the government, no matter what they're trying to prolong their grasp of the reins over Israel now, destroy all of its democratic foundation, and move away from the hostages, which is the main thing that's supposed to be on the table. Everything else has to be second stage to that.
Also, we are worried about what is going on here. Is our democracy going to be, I don't know what? Do the government works for us? Do they care about us, the people? How come we feel like we want to be together? Israelis are such lovely people. What happened to us?
Israelis slammed Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu after he ordered strikes on the Gaza Strip because Hamas had rejected proposals to secure a ceasefire extension. Israeli airstrikes pounded Gaza and killed more than 400 people on Tuesday, Palestinian health authorities said, shattering nearly 2 months of relative calm since a ceasefire began, as Israel warned the onslaught was just the beginning. Israel and Hamas accused each other of breaching the truce it had broadly held since January and offered respite from war for the 2.3 million inhabitants of Gaza, which has been reduced to rubble. Hamas, which still holds 59 of the 250 or so hostages Israel says the group seized in its October 7, 2023 attack, accused Israel of jeopardizing efforts by mediators to negotiate a permanent deal to end the fighting, but the group made no threat of retaliation. The Trump administration has declassified tens of thousands of pages related to the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy, an event that has sparked conspiracy theories for decades. The National Archives released the documents online on Tuesday, with more available for in-person viewing.
2,182 PDF documents totaling about 63,400 pages have been uploaded to the U.S. National Archives. The files include previously classified intelligence reports as well as FBI and CIA memos. While some records remain sealed, efforts are underway to declassify more in the coming months. The release follows President Trump's January pledge for greater transparency after issuing an executive order to declassify records related to JFK, his brother Robert F. Kennedy, and civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. The move adds to the ongoing debate over Kennedy's assassination. JFK was shot and killed on November 22, 1963, while riding in a Dallas motorcade. Investigators concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, but many Americans remain skeptical, fueling conspiracy theories.
Russia and Ukraine accused each other of launching drone attacks just hours after their leaders agreed to a limited ceasefire to halt attacks on energy infrastructure. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia launched more than 40 drones soon after its president call with the US, while its military shot down 72 of 145 Russian drones overnight.
Russia's defense ministry meanwhile reports downing 57 Ukrainian drones, including 35 over the Kursk region. This came after Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed to pause strikes on Ukraine's energy grid, but rejected a full 30-day ceasefire sought by US President Donald Trump on Tuesday. Zelensky, though agreeing with the energy truce, has called out Russia for rejecting a full ceasefire and dragging out the war. The Kremlin insists a broader truce depends on stopping all Western military aid and intelligence to Ukraine, a demand Kiev's allies refuse. The White House said broader truce talks would begin Sunday in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, though it's unclear if Ukraine will be involved.
Last year was the warmest on record, with global temperatures estimated to be more than 1.5 degrees Celsius higher than pre-industrial levels. According to a recently released report by World Meteorological Organization, or WMO, 2024 was the first calendar year to pass that threshold, surpassing the previous 2023 record by 0.1 degrees Celsius.
Countries agreed in the 2015 Paris Agreement to strive to limit temperature increases to within 1.5 degrees Celsius above the 1850 to 1900 average. The WMO's preliminary estimates put the current long-term average increase at between 1.34 to 1.41 degrees Celsius, closing in on but not yet exceeding the Paris threshold. The report said other factors could also have driven global temperature rises last year, including changes in the solar cycle, a massive volcanic eruption, and a decrease in cooling aerosols. It also highlighted the escalating climate crisis. Extreme weather wreaked havoc worldwide, with droughts leading to food shortages, while floods and wildfires displaced a record 800,000 people. Ocean heat also hit an all-time high, with glaciers and sea ice melted rapidly, pushing sea levels to record highs, rising 4.7 millimeters per year since 2015, more than double the rate in the 1990s.
After 9 months in space, NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams have finally returned to Earth, ending a mission that was supposed to last just 8 days. Their SpaceX capsule made a fast and fiery re-entry before parachuting down for a smooth splashdown off the coast of Florida. And in a rare sight, a pod of dolphins was spotted circling the capsule as recovery crews moved in.
Moments later, the hatch opened and the astronauts, along with fellow crew members Nick Hague and Alexander Gorbunov, emerged smiling and waving. NASA officials say they're in good health after an unexpected mission extension that lasted nearly 270 days. Their original spacecraft, the Boeing Starliner, was deemed unsafe for re-entry after multiple technical failures. NASA then arranged for a backup ride and arriving SpaceX capsule. But there was a catch. The next available flight was a 6-month mission, meaning Wilmore and Williams had to stay aboard the International Space Station much longer than planned. During their extended mission, the astronauts conducted experiments, performed spacewalks, and even celebrated Christmas in zero gravity. Williams set a new record for the most time spent outside the ISS by a female astronaut. Now back on Earth, they face a new challenge readjusting to gravity. Long missions in space weaken muscles and bones, making recovery a slow process. The crew will undergo medical evaluations and an intensive exercise program at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston.
That story wraps up AWANI Tonight. Check out our web portal, keeping you informed on the critical events shaping our world, all in one place at international.astroawani.com. That's all for now. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi. Thanks for watching and good night.